Hey guys, let's get more news about Warriors, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Tracy Jackson-Davis questionable for Tuesday's game versus the Miami Heat. Tomorrow, the Golden State Warriors face off against an injured Miami Heat in Miami. The Warriors may be down rookie Tracy Jackson-Davis, who is currently listed as questionable with knee soreness, per The Athletic's Anthony Slater. Jackson-Davis has been averaging 7.4 points, 4.5 rebounds, and 1 block per game this season as a rookie. If he remains out, Jackson-Davis would be the Warriors' only player on the injury report. Veteran big men Kevin Looney and Dario Saric may need to step up in his absence, despite disappointing performances from both leading up to this point in the season. Looney was bumped from the starting lineup in January in favor of Jackson-Davis at center, after a stretch of stellar performances by the rookie, which proved he would be able to lead the team. Since falling into a slump towards the end of January, Saric hasn't seen much playing time, despite the return of his longtime second-unit pick-and-roll partner Chris Paul at the end of February. Both Looney and Saric have had highlights this season, with Saric being a reliable shooter for the Warriors at the start of the season in particular. One of these two big men will have to step up tomorrow if Jackson-Davis ends up sitting out. For the Heat, Tyler Herro and Duncan Robinson are both listed as out, while Kevin Love, Jamie Jaquez Jr., and Caleb Martin are questionable. Hopefully, the Warriors will be able to come out of Miami with a win as the Houston Rockets continue to creep up on their play-in hopes. Nick Kerr responds to DM from Warriors fan who was calling out his father, Steve Kerr. With the Golden State Warriors having struggled in this 2023-24 NBA season, head coach Steve Kerr has come under fire from fans. One Warriors fan recently took the bizarre step of Dwayne Kerr's son, Nick, on Instagram to complain about his rotations. He surprisingly responded, and the individual shared a picture of their conversation on X. I don't think Nick should have even bothered responding to something like that. This was just embarrassing on so many levels. Not only did this individual actually message a family member of the team's head coach to call them out, but also thought it would make him look good to share the conversation on social media. That's about as tone-deaf as one can get, and with all the backlash that inevitably came their way, the user deleted the post. Sure, Steve Kerr has to take some blame for the Warriors being down at 10th in the Western Conference with a 36-34 record. He certainly hasn't done an incredible job of coaching the team this season, with his rotations being questioned by a fair few. The latest instance was the one that this individual brought up, and Kerr defended his decision to have Stephen Curry play less than 30 minutes in the loss to the Timberwolves. He stated the Warriors do not want to overplay the two-time MVP and want to keep him fresh, as they play 5 games in 7 days. Even if you disagree wholeheartedly with Kerr's reasoning, it doesn't mean it's fine to message his son on the matter. I can't say I am too surprised by this, though. We see family members of athletes get bombarded with abuse on social media when said athlete underperforms on the court or field or wherever. It has become the norm now, and Nick might have received many more DMs like these, which have just never gone public. Nick is one of Steve Kerr's 3 children and has been around the NBA for a while now. After graduating from the University of California, Berkeley, where he also played college basketball, Kerr was hired by the Warriors to be an assistant video coordinator in 2018. In 2021, Kerr became an assistant coach for the Santa Cruz Warriors, Golden State's G League affiliate. He was then promoted to the role of head coach in 2023 and has led the team to an 18-13 record in the 2023-24 season. They are currently 5th in the Western Conference, and Kerr would be hoping they can make it to the playoffs. Nick isn't certain just yet if he wants to follow in his father's footsteps and become a coach in the NBA. With how his father has come under fire this season, he might be better off staying away. The Golden State Warriors are now at serious risk of even missing the NBA play-in tournament, as the Houston Rockets are just half a game behind them with a 36-35 record. Even if they end up missing the postseason, Kerr wouldn't really be at any risk of losing his job. It was just earlier this year that the Warriors gave Kerr a 2-year, $35 million extension. They firmly believe he is the right man for the job, despite all the criticism that has come his way from some portions of the fan base. Timberwolves' Reid steps up as Warrior killer in season series sweep. After a pair of drama-filled meetings out in the Bay Area earlier this season, the Minnesota Timberwolves had one goal in mind on Sunday night. That goal: complete the season series sweep against the Golden State Warriors. The Dubs started out strong, leveraging their speed and quickness defensively into numerous Wolves turnovers. It appeared an old trend was rearing its ugly head for Minnesota with 13 first-half turnovers. Luckily for Chris Finch's men, Reid showed up in a big way. The usual sixth man continues to thrive in the starting lineup as Minnesota tries to survive Karl-Anthony Towns' meniscus injury and rehab. With that said, let's dive into Reid's heroics as the Timberwolves effectively closed the door on Golden State and the season series. During pre-game media availability, Warriors head coach Steve Kerr was asked about Reid and the challenges he presents to Golden State's small ball approach. Kerr shared his respect for Reid's game. "He kills us. He's the Warrior killer. He's had so many good games against us," the Dubs coach emphasized. Reid does have a very good track record against Golden State. In his 5 prior matchups before Sunday's battle, the Wolves' backup big had scored in double digits in each game. 3 of those 5 contests concluded with Reid scoring 20 or more points, including one ferocious baseline reverse jam to put the finishing touches on a big Minnesota win in February 2023. The Sunday night matchup started with Reid leaving his mark on the game right from the jump. The former undrafted big man knocked down Minnesota's first basket of the game with a corner triple. From there, Reid rained in 5 more threes on the night. Shooting 6 of 8 from behind the arc, the Warriors did not have an answer for his floor spacing around Rudy Gobert and Minnesota's collection of playmakers. Once again, Reid played like a Warrior killer. His 20-point and 12-rebound performance was vital in fueling the Wolves to a gutsy home win. Post-game, Clutch Points asked Reid about Steve Kerr's comments and what it is about that matchup that allows him to find so much success. "I'm just going out there and competing. It's nothing in particular. I'm just going out there and competing and doing what I do best. I'm able to find holes and things like that to have an advantage against them, I guess. Like I said, I'm just putting my best effort forward." While Reid gave a subtle response, it's clear his performances have been anything but quiet. Over his last 6 games against the Warriors, the Timberwolves' big man is averaging 19.5 points, 8.0 rebounds, 1.2 steals, and 0.8 blocks. His impact has been undeniable as Minnesota has gone on to win 5 of those 6 matchups. Behind that impressive stretch run against Golden State is this year's 3-0 season series sweep. The Timberwolves, who many doubted coming into the season, have quieted the critics. Not only does their 3-0 record this year against the NBA's most recent dynasty speak volumes about the quality of their roster this season, it also carries heavy weight for both teams' playoff races. The Warriors' loss on Sunday night pushed them back even further in their postseason pursuit. Now just sitting 1 game ahead of the Houston Rockets, currently the 11th seed, the Golden State Warriors are in serious jeopardy of entirely missing the play-in tournament and losing a shot at even making the playoffs. The Timberwolves, on the complete other end of the spectrum, are still chasing the top spot in the Western Conference. Minnesota now trails the Denver Nuggets by 1 game as well for the number 1 seed. Their win keeps them right in the thick of the race. If last year's postseason is any indicator, beating the Nuggets in a 7-game series will be incredibly challenging. Trying to beat them in Denver if they have home court advantage might be impossible. While seeding doesn't guarantee anything, it certainly helps, and the Timberwolves ought to be fighting for every advantage they can possibly get. And you, fan, what do you think of the situation of Reid? Leave your opinion in the comments.